Here we go. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. Vegas, baby. Ran into Jorge. Actually, I didn't run into him. I knew he was here. I drove down to Vegas to talk to you because we're at a metals and mining conference, right? Actually, a microcap conference. And we're talking about, there's many companies out here presenting. You came out to present. We've known each other for almost a year now.
Yeah, and it's very nice to see you in person instead of by
I know. It's so nice. I mean, he came all the way from Hong Kong to hang out, so that's pretty cool. But you're actually out here in America. You're actually all over the place for quite some time, talking about the company, going to different conferences. And we were talking earlier about lessons learned because resource stocks are really tough to navigate because there's so many swings. And you were talking about when you got in was a pretty key pivotal moment because it was at the bottom of one of those cycles.
That's right.
Yeah, so we wanted to do a video of 2 major lessons that you could learn from Jorge because you've been how long invested in mining companies?
I started in 2010, so it was during the peak of the last bull cycle.
That was awesome cycle.
And yeah, it was an incredible time. You know, everything you put money into would do incredibly well.
Yep.
But then in 2012, there was gold and silver collapse.
Yep.
But also everything else.
Yes. Yep.
And that really was where I started investing in a more thoughtful way.
Yeah.
And along the way, I've learned a few lessons, and one of the big lessons for me has been around following people who have been seriously successful, especially technical teams.
Yep.
And
you mean serially, right?
Serially.
Like,
did I say seriously?
Yeah, you said seriously, but I screw it up all the time too. And the reason why it's serially because you were talking about one specific person on your type of person on your team. Let's talk about that.
I was giving the example of Peter McGaw at Max Silver.
Yep.
He's the co-founder of Max Silver.
Yep. And a geologist, correct?
He's a geologist.
Okay.
And obviously he's surrounded by a great team.
Yep.
And for example, he's been now involved with something like 4 or 5 discoveries that are quite significant.
Yes.
And I read some statistics. The majority of geologists, go through their whole career without making any discoveries.
Yeah.
But then the ones that make discoveries, and that's a very small percentage of them, do it over and over again.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of a similar theme to that Outliers book.
Yes.
I think it's very much the case in discoveries. So one of the big lessons for me so far has been, attach yourself to teams that have been serially successful.
Nice.
And that gives you a leg up.
Yeah.
Just to give you some examples, and I had an opportunity to invest in a company called Pretium Resources that many people might remember when it was a $3 stock.
Yep.
This is maybe back in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And that company just got acquired, I think for $15, $16 per share.
Yeah.
I think last year by Newcrest.
Yep. A major company.
And now it wasn't a smooth ride.
Nope.
It went up and down and up and down.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, the deposit was so high grade and so big.
Yeah.
With so much exploration potential.
Yeah.
I sort of knew eventually it was going to get acquired.
Yep.
But the big lesson for me was, I could have made a lot more money if I had been more patient.
Yes.
And have more confidence.
Yeah.
And that has happened to me over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Well, can I expand on the serial success?
Yeah.
When you talked about Peter McGaw and being a geologist, and he found that major discovery for mag, right?
Yes.
Okay. When he was saying that once you have that success, you tend to do it again and again and again, where some people never find success. The reason why is because what happens is you remember that gut feeling or the events leading up to that success, right? We've had it, me being a real estate entrepreneur, I remember what it took to that first home that I bought and I flipped, or that first home that I bought, fixed up and rented. Once I knew that success and it worked, I just replicated it over and over again.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's much more complicated than that in mining.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But the concept is similar.
Yeah.
But I think more than a feeling, it's the ability to work as a team.
Gotcha.
So somebody like Peter has a vision.
Yep.
But you then have to execute it on the ground.
Yes.
And geology is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that every single task within exploration can be performed to the highest quality.
Yeah.
So it really is a team effort.
Yeah.
You also have to make sure you have somebody who understands capital markets and and keep the company funded at the right time.
Yeah.
You also need to have patient investors.
Oh,
and to put all of it together, it really takes a lot of skill.
Yes.
So it's but I think if one of the big lessons that I've had is if you invest with teams that have been successful, your chances of having success, I think, are greatly improved.
Yeah, and to expand on that too, I also noticed that in the mining world, it's very small. People know everyone, right?
Yes.
And so when you find a successful team and they want to put together a new project, they know who to get to make that team successful.
That's correct.
They're not here to mess around.
Well, actually, you know what happens, Travis, is in reality, once a team is successful, they tend to stay together.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And it's so tough to find good teams these days.
Yeah.
So in my case, that was a big lesson that I learned, and that's the basis. As you know, I have a company called Reyna Silver.
Yep.
That came from two assets.
I own the shares, just to I am an investor. Yeah.
So that we have two assets that came from Mag Silver.
Yep.
And then as part of the deal, Mag Silver allowed Peter McGaw to be one of our advisors.
Okay.
Now the second lesson that I've learned.
Yes. Lesson number 2
is if you're looking for something that's big and high grade.
Yep.
That project will tend to be less volatile than everything else.
Okay.
So when as you're going through the cycles, when the deposit is low grade and small, it might have huge leverage to the upside.
Yeah. But initial also excitement.
Correct.
Yeah.
But then if when prices collapse, it also goes down dramatically.
Yeah, let's explain the high grade, because a lot of high grade, there's a lot of institutional investors that are interested in that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really the focus. What I focus on is looking for projects that have high grade and high margin.
Yep.
So that they're not so sensitive to the swings of commodity prices.
Exactly.
Going back to the example of Mag Silver.
Yeah.
They can make money at, I think their feasibility study makes money at $6 silver.
Yes.
So, if silver goes down to 12, they still have a huge margin.
Exactly.
If silver goes to 50, then it's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's the other big lesson that I've learned.
Yeah, that's huge. Now, Mag Silver owns part of Reyna Silver.
Correct.
Yeah, how much is it? It's 20%?
Maybe 7 or 8%.
7 or 8%,
like that.
Gotcha. I'm getting all my numbers rolling around in my head, because when you talk Mag Silver, I harken back to what happened in 2020. Yes. We had a smash down in all markets. Stock market was hitting, crashing, cryptos are crashing, paper, gold, and silver were crashing, which meant stocks in the metals market were crashing. So Mag hit I think an all-time low, or that year, in the 3s. Right?
Yeah, I think 5.
It was a 5? Okay.
But if not an all-time low, but definitely maybe a decade low.
Yeah, and that was because of an extreme collapse worldwide, right? But because they were high grade, they were able not only to weather it, people that bought their shares at 5, they wrote it up to what, $25?
Yeah, in a very short period of time. So they went from 5 to 25 in maybe, I don't know, less than 6 months. But for me, for instance, that was a no-brainer.
Yep.
So, and again, talking about lessons.
Yeah.
Even though it was a no-brainer, even though I bought it, and even though I did well, I still didn't have enough confidence to. And those are one of those lessons, right? That
it slides in the back of your mind now. They're there forever.
They were fully financed for the project.
Yep.
They have an incredibly high grade and large silver deposit that is probably going to get a lot bigger.
Oh yeah.
So that is one of the other lessons is when there is a mispriced of an asset for events that are sort of extreme, as that first week of COVID was.
I did it.
But again, the overarching theme is sticking to successful teams. And high quality projects.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Those two things. If you can't do those two things, you will already have a leg up. And make sure you have a better chance of success.
Well, and again, I want to tie this into what Reyna does as far as that good team, because Jorge works with a handful of people, and being that Mag Silver owns a position, they are also invested in your success. So has there ever been a time where you could actually lean on them for advice and help?
Yeah, I mean, we hired a lot of Mag Silver's geologists who had worked on our project.
Yeah.
But as well as that, especially when we were going public, Mag Silver was tremendously helpful to us.
That's cool.
And I mean, obviously Peter is Mag Silver's chief exploration officer. and he's deeply connected to our day-to-day.
Yep.
And they obviously have a big stake in our success.
Nice, that is awesome. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you guys got something out of this, because I think these two lessons are very important, because as we go through what's coming in these markets, they're going to get choppy because the world is changing very fast from a fiat currency to a digital currency, plus from a stock market rich commodities, or stock market sort of, it's transitioning to commodities. Yeah, for lack of better terms. I mean, we're literally, the world is exploding, and they know right now with supply chain and growth, we need commodities. So it's going to get choppy, but I have a feeling it's going to get choppy. This is not my financial advice. It's going to sort of look like this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think specifically gold and silver.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that are in favor of the commodity.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy sailing.
Yeah.
I think everybody should be, you know, very vigilant and very careful of how they position themselves.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to take a serious look at both gold and silver.
Yeah.
And then silver exploration equities play an important part of on a silver and gold portfolio.
Oh, I love it, because I love the leverage, because it's more volatile.
Correct.
Quite frankly, it's more volatile. And that's what I like, is volatility. Everyone should have a little, I mean, in my opinion, not professional, have some volatility in their portfolio. Yes. So that's my decision, has been Reyna Silver. So no, I thank you so much. It's been awesome hanging out with you. So
thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, everyone, I thank you so much for watching from, I don't know if we saw any, just put in the comment section if Elvis drove by, because we saw Elvis cruise by a little earlier. So hope you guys had a great time. The Economic Ninja and Jorge from Reyna Silver are out. All right.